on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and continue learning about 30 different ways to act more Norwegian, part 2. If you have not seen part 1, feel free to go check that out, or stay right here in part 2. That's perfectly fine as well. But in part 1, I basically started learning a whole bunch of ways to become more Norwegian, to transform yourself into a Norwegian. Some of those things included having a Norwegian flag and having a big poofy jacket for the winter and eating a sausage everywhere, or a matpakke everywhere you go, and you have to know how to ski. Maybe own a bunad, and just so many other amazing things that might just allow you to become more Norwegian. So I'm excited today to finish this guide, this video, on 30 things to become more like a Norwegian. So let's take a look at what we've got.
In autumn, winter, summer, or Easter time, never ever go hiking without a quick lunch chocolate bar in your pocket.
Okay. Never go hiking without a... What is this? Hold on, let me get this pulled up. A quick lunch? There it is. This thing. This is very famous in Norway. This is it's like a Kit Kat, or it's like a candy? I'm a little confused because a lot of Norwegians seem to say you want to take this on a hike or when you go out for the day, but is it like a meal? Is it like a breakfast bar, or is it more like candy? Do you really want to take a candy bar, a chocolate bar out on a hike? I don't know, but this seems to be so incredibly popular in Norway. I'm not surprised to see this.
Chocolate bar in your pocket. Together with quick lunch, you also must bring a whole orange.
This is a soda, Solo, and it tastes like orange? An orange soda. We do not have Solo. We definitely don't have quick lunch in America, but we also don't have Solo. Is this popular? Orange is popular. That's not really a very popular soda in the United States. So, like, Americans like Pepsi and Coke and Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew. Not very often orange soda, actually.
Rule number 17, and avoid looking at your fellow citizens in all urban areas.
This is why this guide is so important. Steps to become more Norwegian, because a lot of these steps are just so opposite of what Americans do. Americans are staring at each other all the time. I personally find it rude. A lot of Americans do this. I try not to do this just in general, but a lot of Americans are perfectly fine just staring at you. Like, they just want to look at you. Or they're daydreaming and they don't realize they're looking at you, and it's very common in America. It's weird in a way. There's not so much like a concern for are they making you uncomfortable or not. But in Norway, seems like Norwegians actually care to not make each other uncomfortable and not stare, which I like. I like that a lot.
Includes pavements, public transports, and inside the shops. Always keep a safe distance of at least 1 meter at the bus stops.
That I have heard a million times in videos, is to keep your distance, your physical space. Give Norwegians personal space, which is, again, something Americans are not particularly good at, I have to say.
If any stranger smiles at you on the street or in any urban area, just assume they're drunk or crazy. Look away immediately.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. If someone smiles at you in Norway, they must be drunk, because no sober Norwegian would ever stare and smile. They must be drunk, okay?
Immediately and
or crazy.
Do not engage. Rule number 18, and when you're on a hike, don't forget to say hi to everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Just briefly, as this is the only case where the previous rule doesn't apply.
That is amazing to me. Also, I didn't know about the hi. Is that like a really informal way of saying hello, like hi hi. That's kind of fun. I've not heard that before. Hi hi. The fact that Norwegians have an exception. You never bug anybody. You never say anything. You never stare at anyone, except when you're on a hike. Then it's okay. It's funny because in the United States, if you're out in a really secluded area, like hiking in the woods or something, this wouldn't happen very often, but if you came across someone alone in a really remote area, it would be a little awkward to say something. Like, it'd be a little uncomfortable, because Americans don't really trust each other much, so there's always like that little hesitation. So it's kind of nice to see in Norway people are just normal and trust each other and are just like, hello, and then continue on their day. It's nice.
Rule 19 and eat tacos every Friday. Yes, every Friday. The Tex-Mex stuff in the boxes you mix with the
Tacos every Friday. That is so funny. No American ever, no one knows Norwegians like tacos on Friday. In America, we have something called Taco Tuesday. Sort of. It's kind of a joke. It's not really something Americans do very much, but it's a funny thing. We say, Taco Tuesday, haha. And in Norway, it seems like it's very serious. Tacos on Friday. Americans have no idea that Norwegians enjoy tacos as much as they do. That is so funny.
real meat. And then you do Norwegian taco fredag. Add a slice of cucumber, as this is essential Mexican ingredient. Rule number 20, and as a true Norwegian, you know that the only real pizza is grandiosa.
Grandiosa. Does it come in a heart shape? So, this microwave pizza, is this good for a microwave pizza? Because in America, microwave pizzas are kind of famous for being bad. If you take home a microwave pizza in America, it's not going to be great. And that's kind of normal. Everyone kind of accepts that. But is the Grandiosa pizza, it seems so popular in Norway. It must be, is it good? Like, is it actually that good? Is it better than ordering a pizza? I'm curious.
Frozen pizza. Only love. Rule number 21, and go to your cabin, drop a hutta every weekend. Sure, you will spend
Every
at least
weekend?
4 hours in your car each way to get there, and still go. You must. If
Every weekend? Is that true? Go to your cabin every weekend? That seems extreme. Like, surely you just want to do normal things every now and then and not have to drive all the way to your cabin. But at the same time, I know Norwegians really value cabin time and cabin life and connecting with nature, so I just didn't think it was every weekend. That seems like an exaggeration. That'd be hard to do.
If you don't have a cabin next to the fjord, go to your garden shed and use motivational sentences such as "Ut på tur, aldri sur," literally out on a hike, never angry. Eat
Out on a hike, never angry. What a good philosophy Norwegians have. Out on a hike, everything's fine, never angry. It's like meditative. Americans could really... There's a lot of things Americans could learn from Norwegians to so that we could kind of calm down and connect better with each other and nature, and we'd probably have a lot less stress actually doing some of these things. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of cabins or space for cabins, and we don't have the whole cabin thing, which I'm very jealous about.
Eat boiled sheep head, dried lamb steaks, caught preserved in lye, and fermented trout that you should.
Oh my god. Now, I don't want to talk badly about the traditional Norwegian food, but this is just so different than anything Americans eat. Like, boiled sheep's head?
Had dried lamb steak.
Dried lamb steak. That's better. I'd at least try this. I don't know about the sheep's head. Is that actually popular?
Caught preserved in lye, and fermented trout that
Fermented trout. Fermented trout. A lot of weird animal and seafoods. Weird to me, anyway. I guess Americans kind of need to expand our horizons a little bit. We kind of eat the same old things all the time, and we don't really eat animal organs or anything or animal parts, and it's kind of nice Norway opens itself to that. Like I respect it, but I don't necessarily want it.
That you should also be down with. Next and eat brunost. Views about brunost. Live the brown cheese life. Brown cheese, and it's the food of the gods. And
The food of the gods. That's funny. Brown cheese. This is so Norwegian. Most Americans have no idea about brown cheese. I think it's like sweet, I believe, and caramelly. Americans, like, if we saw brown cheese, Americans would be like, oh my God, is that expired? Is that diseased? But it's actually just so normal in Norway. It's really cool.
the cheese of the people. It's made from goat milk and looks like plasticine. And taste of caramel. You put it on your waffles. What's not to love? As soon as the sun...
The Norwegian waffles. That's amazing. That's awesome how they have a heart shape. That's very nice. Very soothing. And it goes well with Brunost, right?
As soon as the sun out, run outside and smile yourself silly. And my super favorite traditional flask coffee in Norway. Yeah, flask coffee served in a ceramic cup. Now. And
wow.
do not, under any circumstances, say inside in a sunny day. You are Norwegian. Don't forget.
You must go, if you're Norwegian and it is sunny outside, you must go outside and appreciate the day. I like that. I guess this is one perk of being in the United States. It's very, very common to have sunny, warm days. Most days in the year are pretty nice and warm, and it's something I thought was just normal, but now I really appreciate it now. After learning in Norway, it's not as common in a lot of places in the world, like Norway. So that's actually something really cool about America I never appreciated. How it's just always pretty nice, except maybe the winter. And even the winter isn't that bad, honestly.
The Pils is any beer which is drunk sitting outside. It's literally outside beer. From now on, your life revolves around the possibility of Utepils. Next.
Utepils. Do Norwegians enjoy a nice beer outside, perhaps by the cabin? I think that would make you very Norwegian, right?
Next, and every summer you must travel to Sweden and get a sunburn. Sweden means the south and means anywhere south of your hometown, but usually excludes Scandinavia. Next, and...
Oh, interesting. Every year... Sweden? Every year Norwegians travel south? Is that to get warmer? Or is that like a tradition? You just have to go south of where you live. What if you live all the way, like, in the most southern part of Norway? Then do you have to, like, travel to another country? I thought Norwegians actually travel to other countries a lot to get in the sun and the warmth. Is it also, like, a lot of Norwegians just travel to southern Norway to have a vacation and it's probably a little warmer there? That makes sense to me.
Next, and drink a lot of coffee and milk. A glass of milk with every single meal for extra Norwegianness. Next, and all...
Wait a minute. Do Norwegians, like adults, actually drink a lot of milk? Milk with every meal? Or... like, milk is kind of popular in America. It's mostly for children. Do Norwegians actually drink milk? This has me questioning. Now the coffee, no problem. No problem. In America, this is probably this is the first thing in this video that is exactly the same. Americans drink so much coffee. All the time, every day. So, in that respect, Americans are acting a little Norwegian in that it's no problem. We drink all the coffee just like Norwegians do. We are similar.
Next, and always say takk for maten, which means thanks for the food.
Oh, what is it? Takk for...
extra Norwegian. Next, and always say takk for maten.
Takk for maten.
Which means thanks for the food. Or Mama will be most upset.
Thanks for the food. Takk for maten. That's nice. In America, I mean, I'd expect most Americans to say thank you. We don't really have a saying. Thanks for the food. Yeah, I mean, most Americans would, unless they're complete jerks, would be like, oh, thank you. So, I don't know, I think this is kind of similar already.
Every meal, every time. Our last but the most important one. And always celebrate Norway's National Day,
Yes.
17th of May. No
Yes.
exceptions. No matter where you are in the world, you are proud.
So, yeah. Norwegian National Day. Norway's National Day. This seems like right on the same level as the American Independence Day. The 4th of July in America seems, I relate that to Norway's National Day. Although it's a little different, it seems like Norwegians take a more traditional approach. Like they have all the flags, and I think a lot of people in this picture are wearing their bunads. So Norway even has its own way of celebrating its National Day, whereas in America, Americans kind of treat it as a party day, like food, cookout, fireworks. It's not there's a lot of American national pride associated with it, but Norway seems to focus almost on the tradition and historical part of the day, even more so, which is really cool.
It's National Day, 17th of May. No exceptions. No matter where you are in the world, you are proud of Norway, and the
Right.
17th of May is
Yeah.
the most important day of the
Yeah.
year. Better than Christmas, your birthday, and Eurovision put all together. The Norwegian Constitution Day is the day celebrated by all Norwegians. And Norgesvenner, get up.
Yeah. Americans have no idea, like, how serious Norwegians take Constitution Day. It's really cool.
Eat Norwegian food, wear a bunad, the one I already mentioned before. Sing songs about how much you love Norway. Wave flags around a lot. Ice cream,
Okay.
waffles, brown cheese, repeat. Follow it with alcohol, possibly purchased in Sweden. Forget how you got back home, but wake up loving Norway even more than you
Wow.
did before. Tusen takk. Oh, thank you so much, guys, for watching.
Wow, there you have it. There's the guide. Follow these 30 rules, and you might just become more Norwegian. Honestly, I thought this was great. This is by Anna Goldman, and I gotta give this a like. This was kind of funny and enjoyable, but also, seriously, a really helpful way to learn about Norwegian culture. And I don't know, it's obviously there's more to being Norwegian than just 30 steps, but in a way, this is 30 things that are very important to Norway and Norwegian behavior and culture. And yeah, it's just a really fun way to learn about Norway. And I don't know, maybe someone can follow this guide and transform into a Norwegian. Who knows? If you did all 30 of these things, well, for one thing, you'd have like a beer and a sandwich and a sausage and a flag and a jacket and a bunad. You just have, and skis. You just have so much stuff that you'd like collapse. But if you did all these things one at a time, totally, you might become a Norwegian. But seriously, joking aside, this was super fun to learn about, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment, perhaps with what you think someone needs to do to behave more like a Norwegian. What do you have to do? And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and Norwegian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.